Hello, my name is Carrie, and I will be speaking to you about Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was born in the Pella region of Macedonia on July 20th, 356 BC, to parents King Philip II of Macedon and Queen Olympia, daughter of King Neoptolemus. Alexander received his earliest education from Leonidas. Leonidas, who was hired by King Philip to teach Alexander math, horsemanship, and archery, struggled to control his rebellious student. Alexander's next tutor was Lysimachus, who would use roleplay to capture Alexander's attention. Although Alexander was a horrible student, he managed to tame a wild horse no one else could tame at the age of 8 or 9. He might have not been too good a student, but he was an excellent military leader. He did all he could to make sure his army and his empire was the best it could be. In only 13 short years, he amassed the largest empire in the entire ancient world. He had an empire that covered 3,000 miles, and he didn't use any modern day technology. That's kind of cool. When Alexander took the throne in 336 BCE, he vowed that he would continue with the plans of his father. In 334 BCE, Alexander invaded Persia. After 3 years of warfare and determined battles, Alexander smashed the Persian armies and conquered the mighty Persian Empire, including the legendary city of Babylon. A lot of us may ask, why does Alexander deserve the title Great? Well, Alexander conquered almost the entire known world of his era. That sounds pretty great to me. But we know that Alexander was definitely not the first person in history to have this title. The first act of Alexander that already tells us of his greatness is his leadership. Even today, we have military experts consider him one of the most outstanding commanders ever. I think there is no man in history who could have inspired and motivated their men the way Alexander did. Alexander was an excellent leader, and he often did things to make everyone else feel that even though he was king, he was equal with them and they were all one. Many people like to be remembered, so they leave behind a legacy, and Alexander has many legacies that he left behind for us to look back at. We will never be able to determine whether or not Alexander had plans for a world empire, but he definitely had accomplished greater conquests than any other before him. He was one of the greatest generals of all time. Through his outstanding career, Alexander never lost a battle. Although he was outnumbered a lot of times, he always prevailed at the end. Alexander also had a way with mixing other empires' cultures and putting them together with his, like when he ordered 30,000 boys to be taught to speak Greek language and to use Macedonian weapons. The Persians were encouraged by the feeling of partnership with their alliances created, and they were completely won over by Alexander's moderation and courtesy. Although he could take an empire by force and burn it to the ground, he also can be merciful. Even in a great victory over Darius, the Persian king, Alexander captured Darius' wife and daughter and showed them kindness, not cruelty. Alexander is really great when you look at it and look at all his accomplishments together. Someone as good as this guy can never be forgotten.